Hello everyone, welcome you all in this session. Myself, Assistant Professor Ripul Gupta from LJ School of Law. Today I am going to take the subject of administrative law and in which we are going to discuss on the topic of constitutionality of delegated legislation. So now what is delegated legislation? So basically delegated legislation means when you delegate your work to the other authority, to subordinate authority or to the lower authorities. So here if legislative authorities delegate their work to the executives or the different authorities, that is called delegated legislation. That means they are delegating their work. So if for enforcement of law, legislative authorities delegate their power to some authorities for better enforcement or better execution of that particular law, that is called delegated legislation. In India, we have followed this legislation by applying the UK's theory, where the very first time this was applied by the UK, they applied this delegated legislation in their country, and after that we have adopted the same theory in India, that we believe in delegation of power. So once the ministry was set up by the PMO, then that ministry for execution of their work, then they delegate their work to the further. So same way, legislature for execution of works, they delegate their work to the other authorities. So that is called delegated legislation. So in today's topic, we will discuss the constitutionality of delegated legislation. We will see how far it is constitutionally right to delegate the work. So how far they can delegate their work. Here there is a primary rule is that you cannot delegate substantial law making power, or you cannot delegate your substantial power. That means if as I am legislative authority, I am delegating you some work for the enforcement of law. For enforcement of law only you can make rules, regulation and policies and procedures for that. You cannot change the substantial law itself. Only Parliament has a right to make a substantial law. So basically the machinery to say that how far you can delegate the work is that it says that you cannot delegate the primary function of yours. So the judiciary cannot delegate the function like they are having. The same way the legislative authorities cannot delegate their substantial law power making. They can only delegate for the enforcement of that particular law. So law making is a substantial law that you cannot delegate. So in India, we have this delegated legislation even in the British era. So we can divide this theory, the constitutionality of delegated legislation in India, in pre-independence area and post-independence area. In pre-independence area, we'll see the case of Queen versus Bora. In this case, the Privy Council validate the conditional delegated legislation. So here, for the very first time, the Privy Council admitted that you can have a delegated legislation, but they only permitted the conditional delegated legislation, where they have some prior condition before delegating the work. So another case is King versus Binoy Lal Sharma. In this case again, the conditional legislative was examined by the Privy Council, as the same was examined in the case of Queen versus Bora. In this case, it was the issue was whether the power exercised by the Governor General of India was constitutional or not. In this case, the Governor General of India has exercised certain powers that his emergency ordinance was challenged. He set up a special criminal court for this. So it has been said that this was the power of the provisional government. They can only set up a different criminal court, or they can declare the emergencies. So here the Privy Council also held that this was a violation of delegated legislation. It is unconstitutional because it is substantial power of the government provisionals. So here the Governor General of India cannot declare the emergencies, and he cannot set up a criminal court in India. So this delegated legislation is unconstitutional. In post-independence era, we conferred the powers of legislature to delegate their work. They can have a delegation of power of their work. but we do not have like the same like British era we have that only conditional legislation can be delegated, but yes, we do have a permissible delegated legislation according to the Constitution of India, that in permissible limits we can delegate the work to the other authorities. So regarding this post independence era, we have allowed to be have a delegated legislation but with permissible limits. So it is not exhaustive, right? Like it is not defined that what is the limit of delegation, but yes, we can define the limitation from case to case. So it is an inclusive one, right, where government have power to delegate, but this power can be defined by from case to case, from the functions to functions. So yes, we do have delegated legislation, but we have permissible limits defined in the Constitution. So in India we have not defined this delegation of power, but yes, we do have defined to the cases that we upheld that yes, India is following delegated legislation and India should follow it, but with some permissible limits. So in the case of Raj Narayan Singh versus Chairman Patna Administrative Committee, the Supreme Court upheld that yes, legislature can delegate their work to the executive. So executives here have a power to perform a quasi-legislative work for enforcement of their law. So here, for enforcement of law, the executives can make rules, regulation, bylaws and ordinance. So here it is a permissible by the Supreme Court that under the permissible limit, you can delegate your work, and then under the permissible limit they can perform their work. In another case, this is Lakshmi Narayan versus Union of India. The work of central government was challenged. In this case, the central government exercising the power that it has got from section 2 of the State Law Act 1950, which extended that Bengal finance sale tax of 1941 to that part of state Delhi with certain modification in the section 6 through a notification. So here a central government can make a changes in the taxes of the commodities, and they can change the rates of taxes or can repeal the taxes. So here in this way, section 6 through section 6, sale tax on various commodities was exempted by, and subsequently again that exemption was taken by the government. So one dealer who was indulged into this commodity filed a case against in the Supreme Court that this function of the government is unconstitutional because it is not permissible delegation, and the judgment it was held that that in this case the notification issued by the central government is beyond its power conferred by section 2 of the Union Territories Act 1950, and in consequences the type of notification issued by central government is invalid and ineffective. So a central government cannot interfere in the state's union territories or the state functions. So here the power entertained by the central government was beyond their power. So again, this is not permissible delegated legislation. So this was upheld as invalidate by the Supreme Court. So whenever you are functioning your part, it must be seen that you are doing your work in permissible limits. So that is a validate delegated legislation. So today we have discussed about the constitutionality of delegated legislation. So basically, what is delegated legislation? It is when the legislative authorities delegate their work to another authority for functioning of that particular law. So in India, we have permissible limits for the delegated legislation according to the Constitution of India. So if you are acting or you are playing constitutional function, it is permissible in your limits. So here you cannot delegate the substantial work of making of law, but for the enforcement of law you are giving some power to make the laws. So that is called delegated legislation. Thank you.